table 5, Steve Henry, Jamie McDonald. On table 6, Connor Mooney, Ryan Bodsworth. On table 9, Jay Devil, Amini Lamrani. On table 12, Paul Carr, Scott Gillespie. On table 13, Terry Lammy, Andy Barker. On table 18, Alex Cameron, Neil Webb. On table 20, Adam Bassoon, John Egan. On table 23, Alex Bailey, Shane Thompson. On table 25, Steve Prince, Mark Shepherd. On table 27, Matt Barcock, Callum Kendall. On table 28, Craig Marsh, Andy Shaw. The rest of you playing at the 3 o'clock session, we're just waiting at the tables to become available. Thank you. On table number 3, Aki Khan, Jimmy Carney. On table 16, Karim Bereda, Ben Duffield. On table 19, Jamie Stokes, Sean Morris. Next match on table 11, Chris Hampson, Oliver Lawrence.
high quality pool continues to hit our screens throughout the weekend. We've seen 2 great matches so far, and here is yet another between Chris Day and Callum Singleton. Another 2 competitors in this event who could definitely be at the business end. We've just seen Jake McCartney take out Steve Petty. In the opening match, we watched Declan Brennan comfortably beat Lee Briscoe. And now it's the turn of Chris and Callum. It's been high quality stuff so far, and I have no doubt that these 2 will keep running with that baton. This is the first round of the World Rules Pool Tour. An early miss there from Chris. I seem to remember he had a fairly deep run in one of the events in the first event in Blackpool.
Next match on table 10, Kev Sutton, Aaron Davis, table 10 please.
Clever shot from Chris, just pushing the black over the yellow at the top right, now making this a difficult frame for Callum to win. Sometimes when a frame is not there for you, or your second favourite in it, you have to play these tactical shots which just push the frame in your favour, or make it, not so much push it in your favour, but makes it difficult for your opponent to win. That's the key. Sometimes it's just making it difficult for someone else to win. That's another former world champion just down to the right-hand side of us, John Rowe. I would have been looking to cover the pocket there rather than make the pot. Definitely not what he was looking for. He was just trying to look to take some control, and now just pushing that red to the top right, so he's just got a ball in play up there now. So I think the longer term plan there would be to play the deliberate foul red onto yellow and claim that pocket that's causing him a problem where the black is. Both players have extensively played black ball, but both come from a world rules background, so they'll be more than familiar with the tactical side of the frame. And again, this is just a game of chess at the moment. Chris moving that ball to the left-hand side of the table, so now he can pot it into that left-hand middle pocket. And now Callum pushing the red over the black. So as I say, just a game of chess with just moving our pawns into position, ready to go on the offensive. Chris could choose to pull the trigger here. The ball's in pretty good shape. He could take the yellow over the top right now and promote the black. It's definitely there for him. Doesn't need to do too much with the black. Just nudge into it, it's going to push the red away. So it doesn't need to clatter into it. It can be a controlled shot. Yeah.
Next match on table 24,
I think he, for me, he just played it a little hard. I think he could have played it just a little controlled shot, just a nudge into the black and push the red a foot down the table, leave the black pretty much where it was. Just a little containing shot. Very little Callum can do here to attack. He needs to just really consolidate his position. Maybe move this red off the side cushion, double it across to get it in the mix over the bottom left. Try and put some covering fire across that pocket perhaps. problem is here. There's nowhere safe on the table. I think he desperately won't want to leave the cue ball at this end of the table because he needs to try and avoid Chris from playing that yellow off the red into the left centre and opening up that little problem. It just shows when they were manoeuvring for position earlier on, Chris played a lovely little shot there just to put that yellow in that spot. That's a clever shot. Took away the pot for the yellow at this end of the table and has left, I mean, he's left that cut back into middle, but from playing it from where it is a horrible shot. If you're right behind it, it's not that difficult, but from here it's just nasty. Trying to judge it correctly. Might be forced into playing it though. It's a clever shot from Callum. I think he was just playing the percentages and saying, right, if you want to go for it, you're going to have to go for it now, have a crack at it, but the black's tied up and I'm going to leave you with a bit of a howler. So Chris can play this and develop the black at the same time. Key to the frame right here. Delightful shot. Absolutely delightful. Can have played it much better and has actually been a little bit unfortunate. The yellow, I don't think passes to left middle. It may, but I don't think it does. Actually, just looking down at the table, that might just go, you know. Oh, it does, look. You can see from the overhead there. I think it just does. He's got half a pocket. Oh, he's got it to bottom anyway. I wasn't sure if he could get through to the angle past the red. He's got a stinker of an angle though. He needed an angle to get across for the last yellow, and he just... What does he do with that? I think the only option he's got is to just top it through, and or is he? No, he's screwing back to the top of the table. I think he's gonna play the deep screw shot off the top rail, back out, big shot. No good, no good. Left this wide open for Callum. Simple finish for Callum, which he duly gets, and it's 1-0. Nine of the balls pretty much in the bulk area. This could have been kinder.
Next match on table 7, Brett Wild, Sean Sheffield. Next match on table 8, Jake Dillon, Newell, Elliot Lloyd.
Has he left this red? I think he has. I think that was a little clumsy. Gives him control. I don't think that's anywhere near where he was trying to get it. There's a tiny chalk mark just above the bulk line, just near the right-hand side rail. I think he would have probably been looking to land around about there. Yeah, just promoting his ball with the first shot. He could have done with just getting that a little further across. Maybe he was, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to hold the cue ball for the same ball. I don't know. Got it into a potable position though. No.
Next match on table 21.
No. It's mistakes at the moment from Chris. And that's a couple of mistakes at key moments when he's had a decent chance in the frame. And again, this one could cost him. Still a bit of work to do for Callum. The red that he's closest to needs to think about where he's going to pot that. And he's come back and landed on it now. It's good. Should be fairly plain sailing now. $256 players here this weekend. Always a popular event. The Festival of Pool. John McAllister won his game against Andy Williams 7-2, so he's through. Steve Singh beat Scott Pope 7-2 by the same scoreline. Paul Keegan currently 6-5 up against Jason Owen. Jason here this weekend, good to see him. Lee Washbrook currently beating Jez Graham 6-4. Jack Wiggin through his round untroubled 7-0 against Matthew Povey. Scott Gillespie's won the first frame against Paul Carr. Neil Wren trailing Alex Cameron 2-0. Adam Basu, who took that Ultimate Pool Challenger Tour by storm a couple of weeks ago, winning one event and making the semis of the other event. He's currently 1-0 up against John Egan. Shane Thompson's in action against Alex Bailey. He's 2-0 up. Steve Prince against Mark Shepherd. Looks like, well, Mark's currently 2-0 down, so he could be joining me on comms for if he doesn't pull that one back. Craig Marsh is just playing across on table 28, which is just to our right-hand side. He's currently 6-1 up, and he is in the balls for the match. In fact, he's just missed. Aaron Davis against Kev Sutton. Aaron now 2-0 up. Sean Chipperfield starting out there against Brett Wild at the bottom of your screen. It's 1-0. Callum's just stepped away for a quick bathroom break, so we'll do the same. We'll leave you with those scores and we'll be back shortly.
Table 15, Samuel Kravitz, Sanjay Patel. Table 15.
Chris with that cut break. It's not doing him any favours at the moment. To compound it, the problem it's opened them up. These look really nice, especially the reds. Line of yellows down the middle of the table. I think you could pretty much put a straight edge along the bottom three. They're all in a perfect line. Oh, has he been fortunate? Has he got the gap? What did I say earlier on? Never move a ball if you don't need to. Those are the wise words of Mick Hill. And that black, it went. Didn't need to move it. And had he not moved it, he'd still be on this clearance. The thing is, in those situations, a fairly generous table in the arena, surely you back yourself to pot that one down the rail, wouldn't you? I know it's always tempting to move a ball if it's there to be moved, but again, a clever shot from Chris. So Callum played the deliberate foul and pushed that yellow down towards the bottom of the table, but Chris just making sure the black's safe. So he's got flankers either side of it now. Much more tactical frame between these two than we've seen before, and it's probably because these two are naturally World Wars players. Have no issues in playing a tactical frame when needed. Whereas Declan in the first match, probably much more naturally aggressive. And Jake and Steve Petty, neither are known for their tactical side of the game. And I think that's a foul, isn't it? So I was just looking down at the table and I think Chris hit the red, but also didn't hit a cushion after contact. Or was I seeing things? Sorry, it was out the corner of my eye. There's so much going on around us in the arena. It's easy just to take your eye off play. So they're obviously deep into a tactical frame here. So we've got the option of a number of tables we can flick to here. So let's just pop over to table 7 and have a look and see how Sean Chipperfield's doing. There's Jake Dylan Newlove in the background there as well. He must be on the opposite table. So that's Sean Chipperfield just coming to the table now. You can see the scoreboard in the background there. That game is currently 1 frame each. I'll keep an eye on table 1 in the meantime. But, bit of a bouncy camera where people are walking past it. So.
Okay, then the last match now to go on in the 3 o'clock session. Ben Flack, Josh Gooderham, table 4, please.
We'll come back to the action on table 1. As you can see, not much has happened. Callum very much in charge of this one, covering those bottom 2 pockets. I think he'll be going on the attack next time he comes to the table, unless Chris can come up with something a bit special.
Is sound boom in the room, please?
I don't think that's any good. I think he can get through to this red, just take the edge of it. I mean, I think he can pot it, but I don't think he will. He'll just jam it in there. I think he could have just got through and dropped it in, but don't think he could have got the cue ball out. But I mean, its second prize is just in control. I mean, Chris needs to find a way to now get the black down on top of the yellow and red. So pot the red and leave the black on top of the yellow. That's his only hope, really. May be able to do that if he can put off a long pot here. Yeah, well, he's again, Callum not forced to go for these. Indeed, may just elect to pot one of Chris's balls and give away 2. He can definitely go for them if he wants to. He's just not forced to. So he's, yeah. I think that's the right shot. I think that's the right shot because Chris was going to have the chance to try and get this black down. So it's just push a few more yellows into a mess. Bit curious as to why he wouldn't have pushed the black down over the yellow and red. If you land the yellow, land the black on top of the yellow that's over the pocket where the red is, and you've got the yellow and red on top of one another. If you stick the black behind that, then it kind of gives you a bit of control back. Always intriguing these tactical frames. Or just a little bit slower, obviously, but the occasional tactical frame is always just trying to second guess what the players are going to do next. But I think, for me, I mean, so another DF, and again it just makes it a little trickier again. And I think the reason that was a clever shot, actually, when I think about it, because the reason Callum's done that is that takes away the option for Chris to push the black down and deliberate foul Callum's red, because then he would be foul snookered on the last red. So then Callum could play the free ball. That's a clever shot.
She's not into clever pool.
Because Callum can't nominate the yellow that's over the pocket behind the black because he can't see it, and you can only nominate one ball as your free ball, so he couldn't nominate the yellow that is essentially closest to then play the plant, because he would be planting the ball that he hasn't nominated, if you see what I mean. So that wouldn't be a legal shot. It is, of course, a foul snooker because Callum can't see both sides of the red, but I'm not sure that gives him any advantage. Very clever shot from Chris. I was just saying during the last match that we haven't seen any fudging frames. And here we are. I don't think there's any option for a shot clock to be brought in, but I think there should be. A 45-second shot clock would be decent. So he's gonna, yeah, he's finally worked it out. No good. Ouch. See what he's trying to do there. So he nominated the one yellow and pot it into that pocket, open the black, and try and leave himself somehow on that last red, but obviously gone in off. But still got the same problem. So has to clear these down to the last ball without losing a shot, and then he can use his last shot to develop the yellow, get it into the open. I think he'll be looking to do that off of this next shot. Yeah. Well, he could do it now, just play cushion first to knock it into the open. I prefer that personally, because then you've still got the yellow over the pocket. If it goes wrong, you can't leave it until last, because if you don't land on it, you're in trouble. Oh, it's gone perfect. He's potted it as well. Well, that's guaranteed him the frame. Played it well, to be fair. He played a brilliant tactical shot halfway through that, which put Callum in all sorts of bother. So Callum went from being, absolutely like a 1 to 10 favourite for the game to suddenly being in trouble. That was a great shot by Chris there to get himself back into that one. It's amazing how one shot can turn it. And there we are when it's our first tactical frame of the day. So Scott Gillespie Goobs 4-1 up against Paul Carr. Shane Thompson 5-0 against Alex Bailey. Jimmy Carney 3-2 up against Aki Khan. That's just down here on table 3. You can see Jimmy at the table. And on table 2, John Rowe is at the table against his opponent. So this one looks much more open. I don't see this one going tactical somehow. He's got a beautiful angle to move the first problem ball and does so. So the winner of this event this weekend, the main event, will go home with a prize of £5,000. So not bad for a weekend's work, but it's a big old field. 256 players to battle through to take that title. Who will be there when it comes to Sunday afternoon, or Monday afternoon even? I keep forgetting we're bank holiday weekend. So you lucky folks have got bank holiday weekend off, and we're going to be here grafting all weekend. I reckon I'm going to be sick of pool come... oh dear, that's a terrible shot. It's not reached. So that's a foul. Reds are pretty ugly, so he does have that on his side, but yeah, just trying to drop it in dead weight and hold to keep the angle on the yellow below the 2 reds. So he could then play the one to middle next. Yeah, just... could see this turn into another tactical frame now. Callum's going to double this red, and he's going to play it pocket weight, and if it doesn't drop, which it hasn't, we're going to have a bit more of a fudge fest. Gonna have to have another go at getting that red out. Does so this time, and has just about landed on it. So, just about getting on the black. He could do it one of 2 ways. He can move the yellow that's to the left of the black and leave himself on it, but more likely is to run around and play into the one to the right of the black and leave himself on it into the same pocket. I think the angle is... the way he's playing it, I wonder. Yeah, that's exactly how he played it. Look at that. If you tried to feed a ball through there again, you wouldn't do it. Oh, has he fluked it? Has he... oh, my gosh. What? How did that not drop? Well, all the yellows are in the open. You fancy him to take him, but it could go wrong. It probably won't, but he's always got that added pressure. There's no safety net because the black's hanging over the pocket. I think if it was me, I'd be coming down table now. I think I'd be coming down He's got an angle to play the one into the middle and then come down for this rogue ball at the bottom of the table. That's what he's doing. Enough angle now to run around. I think he can just play with follow, run around off 2 cushions. Sorry, I turned American there for a second. Play with follow. Top spin, of course. And now just punch this across somewhere just north of the blue spot. That's okay. That is okay. Oh, dear me. Well, I did groan at the previous shot because it just felt like he just didn't connect it properly, and that punch shot should have been another few inches across the table, and ultimately that did cost him the pot. Still expected him to get it though. I mean, Chris will be fuming. He's had chances in pretty much all of those frames. Good afternoon and welcome to the stream to Doggone, one of our regular viewers from over in the Fair Isle from Dublin. I hope you're well, my friend. Someone just asking what cloth we're using on these tables. Of course, it's the supreme winner is the table, and the cloth is the Strachan Superfine. It's a cloth that was developed a couple of years ago. I think there's 2 versions of it, one for the snooker table and one for the pool table. It comes in the traditional olive green or this grey, which I really do think suits. I think it suits the tables, and I think it suits the identity of the game. I like it. It kind of sets it apart from. I know a lot of people are traditionalists and they like the olive green, but I don't know. Just I like having a separate identity from snooker. That's just me, just my opinion. And I like the contrast of the colour, the red and yellow on the kind of play in the background. I think it contrasts much better for the camera. Always happy to answer any questions if anyone has any. If it's within my capability and understanding, then I'll try and answer them for you. Again, just the wrong angle. Another 3 inches down the table, and this is a formality. I think he's still okay, but he's just making it a little bit difficult with the cue ball. And there you go again. Just lost the cue ball, and it's just because though it's just literally another 2-3 inches of pace, and he had a margin for error. He could have finished low, but he just didn't want to finish high. John Cooper asks a really interesting question, actually. When did yellows and reds come into the UK? That's a really good question, because in all honesty, it's... Wow, Chris. Oh, dear. And all because he lost that cue ball moments ago. And again, it's going to cost him the frame. He's had some chances. Yeah, interesting question, John, and I don't know the answer. I wonder if any of the viewers do know the answer. Someone may be able to shed some light on it. I mean, it's as long as I can remember. I can't remember anything else, in all honesty, and I've been involved in the game for some 25, 30 years. Well, Callum's made this tricky for himself. He's absolutely fine, but wow, this could have been easier. It's right in the pocket. It's just a little thin cut. He's fine. Just trying to make it hard for themselves. Yeah, Digital Labyrinth. Absolutely, that shot would have been all right in black ball. It would have been all right in international rules as well, but not in world rules. That's a foul. But I mean, he's got no one to blame but himself. He played a poor positional shot.
If anyone walking in for the first time hasn't collected their shirts, they are at the top table on the right-hand side against the wall. Please come on and collect them. They are for tour players only, and not for those just playing over this weekend. But for any tour players, the shirts are against the wall. Go up and grab one.
I think Chris has had a decent opportunity in pretty much every frame. This scoreline could quite easily be reversed, but he just seems to have played himself into trouble in so many of these frames. I guess he just has to take heart in the fact that he's been getting the chances and just hope that he continues to get the chances and he starts taking them. There's been some mistakes here, full of missed pots. Such a contrast from the previous game. Chris Huff asking, within these rules, can you pick up the white when foul snookered and still be foul snookered and then nominate your opponent's ball? Yes, you can. The thing is, if you pick the ball up, if there is a position behind the bulk line that you can see the whole of the ball, then you have to place it there. So what I mean by that is you can't go from a foul snooker, pick up the ball and then purposefully put it into a position where it's still foul snookered if there is an option of a position somewhere where it's not, if you see what I mean. So yeah, the short answer is yes, you can. And then if there's nowhere behind the line that you can put it, that you've got a clear view of both sides of the ball, then if you're still foul snooker, then you can nominate your opponent's ball as well. That is going to be a dry break. So 5-2 down. If Chris can find a way to win this frame, at 5-3 in the break in the next, having been down and out in this game, he could well find a foothold and get back into it. Yeah, Chris saying that Callum had a shot earlier that he couldn't hit the opponent's ball, and by picking up the white he would have still been snookered. I remember the shot, it was when the yellow and red were tied up on the right hand side on the right pocket, and you're absolutely right, had he have picked up the cue ball it would have still been foul snooker, but I don't think he would have had an advantage by moving the cue ball behind the bulk line, because if you remember, he tried to cut the yellow into the left-hand pocket to open up the black. That was a shot he went in off. But yeah, absolutely, in theory, he could have picked it up and would have still been able to nominate his opponent's ball. But the problem wasn't on that side of the table, the problem was on the left side of the table, because Chris had played a genius shot. John says, does the white stripe on the black help with lining up the shot? And was that recently brought in? Actually, yes, it is a fairly new thing. I guess, so this set of balls is Pro Cup balls, as they call them. The previous Aramith balls just had the small white spot with the 8 logo on it, and they brought in this more traditional stripe ball that the Americans will be more aware of. In terms of whether it helps you line it up, I guess it does in some ways. Probably makes it slightly easier to target the ball, but I'm not sure. I mean, I've used Pro Cups in hundreds of frames, and I'm not sure I've ever sort of noticeably. He's played another poor shot there, knowing he was running into that red, but even if he'd made the pot in the middle, he didn't leave that red. Yeah, I think. I guess you could ask the same question of the Americans. Do the spots and stripes, do the stripes have an advantage because it's more of a targeting area? I don't think so. I think you just pick your spot on the ball to pot it, and then just stick with that spot. You don't necessarily target a particular point on the ball where, say for example, where the white meets the black stripe. That's not good from Callum. Didn't want to be on the rail.
If any of the following are in the room, can come to the top table, please, and confirm we want to enter a three-man team or
I think he's.
Matthew Barton,
I mean, he's okay. He can screw back to where he is now. He's looking at pointing his finger where he wants to be and leave this one to middle, but it's far trickier than it needed to be. That's about as good as he could have left it, I think. Again, it's cost him his visit. Just these little touches, it's just a difference sometimes between being a really good player and being at the top of the game. And I probably say it enough to bore people to death, but when you look at somebody like Phil Harrison, they don't tend to make those mistakes. Their cue ball is so good. Yeah, a bit of discussion about the rules. I think you're right. I think world rules do get a bit of bad press, unnecessarily so. Okay, in this match we've seen a couple of tactical frames, but generally we haven't. If you watch this stream table over the weekend, you'll generally see really attacking pool and not much in the way of tactical games. I think black ball and international rules, as they're now known, tend to lend themselves more towards TV. International rules maybe even more so because they are so aggressive and so attacking and very simple to understand. But I come from I come from a world rules background. It's all we have in my part of the world. You've got two options. You can either play old EPA rules or world rules. There's no black ball leagues around, so it's kind of... But there are some aspects of the game which don't make sense. I remember going to a poker event many years ago, and they decided to have a pool event alongside it, and a lot of the poker players were playing pool, and I was playing somebody else who was a world rules player, and we were playing a world rules match, and I remember playing a shot, just played the ball into open table, and there was about 24 people watching, and they were scratching their heads wondering what I'd just done, because they'd never seen it before. It was like, you can't just play a ball into space.
Wayne Gardner, let's go Wayne.
So we find ourselves in the middle of another tactical frame. So while we're just going through this frame, I was just talking to Paul a second ago about so a couple of years ago when we were covering the Supreme Series, I used to share a room with Jordan Shepherd, and we were staying in the Travel Lodge, and there were 3 beds in the room. There was a double bed and 2 singles, and I think I finished my shift and went back, sort of fell asleep about 1 in the morning, and then Jordan Shepherd came in with Craig Marsh. They stumbled in the room about 5 a.m. After being to the casino, and they both had pockets bulging full of money, and Marshy had nowhere to stay, so Sheppy had kindly told him that he could come and stay in my room. So Marshy, I mean, this is like 5 in the morning. I've had about 4 hours sleep. And I thought, oh, that's great. I've just woken up in the middle of the night. And Marshy laid down in the bed at the far end of the room. And I'll play something for you because the noise that came from him was the loudest thing I've ever heard. Now, bearing in mind, I'll see if I can get this across the microphone, because bearing in mind this was he was across the other side of the room. This is what I was presented with. Have a listen to this. I thought I'd share that with you because I've never heard anything like it in my life. So there you go. That was Craig Marsh snoring. See, you don't get this on Free Sports. Brilliant. Afternoon, Will. Will Caldwell watching on. Hope you're well, my friend, and enjoying the action this weekend. And this was another tactical frame. Oh, goodness me. Well, he's got the second, but it won't make any difference. It won't change the result of the frame. There comes a point where he's got to dent your confidence. I thought I'd share that story with you because I was just talking to Paul, who's the producer of Beer Productions, is just recounting that story, so I thought I'd share it with you while they were in the middle of another tactical frame. Anyway, it's Callum that wins that one, and he's on the hill.
Okay, we are going to start the 4:30 session now. There are still some matches going on from the previous session, so not all the tables will quite be in play yet, but we'll get to those as soon as we can. We are just going to
And finds the ball, finds one of each, and I think the fat lady is starting to sing.
So, on table number 3,
Because you don't see too many mistakes coming from here, but you never know with this game. It's it's not been the prettiest. But sometimes that's the way the game goes.
On table number 4, Jake Yildiz, Josh Kane. Jake Yildiz, Josh Kane, table 4.
And indeed, no mistakes this time from Callum. And a convincing scoreline, but I think Chris will walk away from that one, ruining some missed chances. He had a lot of chances through that. Not sure who's up next. I'm going to take a guess at Phil Harrison next on the TV table, because he is up in this next round, but Tom Cousins is too, so not quite sure which game. We'll have to keep an eye out for that and just see who. I'm going to go down and have a few words with Callum in the interview booth, so we'll be down there in just a minute or so stick with it and you can hear Callum's thoughts on that game.
On table 9, Chris Patient, Phil Harrison. Chris Patient, Phil Harrison, table 9.
So I'm joined by Callum after that win. Callum, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not the prettiest pool you've ever played.
Definitely not. Scrappy, but I'll take it. Just got to carry on. Hopefully play a lot better than that, but I'll take it.
I mean, it turned quite tactical, didn't it? Was that part of the game plan?
I played him the first tour and I had chances against him then. I didn't take them, and I've only just been recently getting back into pool again because I'm moving into my house on the 10th of September, so I've just been trying to find time to play, and obviously with lockdown I haven't had no facilities or any clubs to play at, but I don't feel 100% confident at the minute, so it was part of a game plan, yeah, to just try and grind him out and get a win, see where I can go.
Yeah, and I mean a convincing scoreline, but I mean Chris wasn't without chances, but he had chances in most of the early frames, and at 5-1 the scoreline could have been reversed.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Not like Chris normally. Yeah, last tour he would have took them, and I would have been probably lost 7-2. Yeah. So just one of them. I'm just happy to be on the winning side, and then hopefully I can gain a bit of momentum and go far. See.
Yeah, tough game under your belt, and just look forward to the rest of the event now.
Yeah, definitely. There's some top players in it, so this is where I want to be, playing the best and getting back to what I know I can be.
Well, let's hopefully see you in the business end of the event. Cheers, Callum.
I hope so. Cheers.
Well done, mate.
Cheers.
Next match on table 13, Alpesh Mystery, Sinumia. Alpesh Mystery, Sinumia, table 13.